This is News 6 Tonight.
Good to see you tonight on News 6 Tonight. My name's Matt Austin. I've got Mike Valenti with me tonight, community correspondent, altogether good guy. I've got to say, Mike, a lot of times reporters come into News 6, takes them a little while to adjust, learn, and grasp everything. This dude hit the ground running.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome reporter, great storyteller. I'm impressed every day when I watch your stuff, and that is the God's honest truth.
Well, it helps being in this newsroom, and every day this market challenges me because every day something new is going on and something that we have to dig into.
Yeah, it's true. Well, there's this rare quality that only some reporters have of asking the right question in difficult moments, and you always just seem to do that. So I really enjoy watching your stuff. I'm excited to do the show with you tonight.
Me too. This is my first time standing. Last time I was here with Ginger, your co-host, and we were sitting.
We like to switch it up.
Yeah,
man.
I like to switch it up. I like it. But speaking of asking questions, there's a lot of questions that we're asking about a really horrific situation that happened last night. Carver Shores area of Orange County. Our colleague Jarrell Baker went out, covered initially. This crash, 9 children were in the car. Some of them in one car.
Yeah.
Some of them sitting on each other's laps. Authorities say not wearing seatbelts. 9 children and a 58-year-old woman sent to the hospital. Our community correspondent, our newest community correspondent, Tylisa Hampton, followed up on this important story. We have more.
I'm News 6's Tylisa Hampton. We have more developments and details on that Thursday night crash in Orange County that hospitalized 10 people, 9 of them children.
2 cars were left mangled from a collision on Thursday night in the Carver Shores area of Orange County. The crash sent a 58-year-old woman and 9 children, all in a Nissan, the oldest 14 and the youngest 3, to the hospital.
There was another little girl, had a big eye gash over her eye where her meat was hanging out. Then there was another little boy that was like 4 years old. His head was blessed open. And kids was hurt really bad. All the kids was really hurt.
Florida Highway Patrol says the 29-year-old driver from Kissimmee failed to see the Nissan and hit it from behind. The impact sent that car into a tree. On Friday, we learned from officials 4 of the children were discharged while the other 5 and the woman are still in the hospital. They also say some of the kids were sitting on each other's laps and were not wearing a seatbelt when the crash happened.
You look at the math here, it doesn't add up. 5 seatbelts in a vehicle, 9 passengers. It's a disaster waiting to happen.
Florida law requires the use of seat belts or child restraint devices by drivers of motor vehicles, all front seat passengers, and all children under 18 riding in a vehicle. As for both of the drivers in this case, officials have not given any details about what charges they could face, as they say the investigation is still ongoing.
Really horrible. And in that story, Trooper Steve goes on to tell Tylisa that, he's covered situations like this, and he has responded to scenes where cars are going as slow as 5-10 miles per hour. And if you're not wearing a seatbelt, you could be severely injured. He said he's been on situations where people even die in those circumstances. So obviously, when you hear about situations like this and you see those images, the cars mangled, your heart goes out to anyone involved, especially the 9 children.
I am stunned that no one died in this story. Yeah. When you see the picture of that car, and you know that at least 5 kids were inside without seat belts sitting on people's laps, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this case, because there's a possibility that charges could be filed, or,
that's the natural question I think a lot of people are asking.
It might just be a ticket, but there also could be grounds for something more. We'll have to wait and see. We'll keep covering this one,
of course,
for sure. Another crazy car crash. This is I've never heard of something like this, Mike. So in February, there was this nasty crash. A woman and a guy driving down the road. When he told his family, this is what happened. This is according to him. She sees what she thinks is him Snapchatting another girl. And then he says the last thing he remembered before this crash was this woman, Mumby, saying, "I don't care what happens. You'll get what you deserve." Swerves off the road, just out of nowhere, sees this Snapchat, swerves off the road, hits a tree. Keep in mind, this woman is pregnant.
Yeah.
So she is pregnant
with his
a
child.
baby, with his child, swerves into a tree. What a rash decision, if that's true. Of course, that is his side of the story. So he's in the hospital for 8 months, and just recently he dies of pneumonia. And now his parents are saying, we want custody of this baby, and we want her to go to jail for a long time. So our sister station, WJXT, was tackling this story for us.
Say hi, Mama. Hi, Aunt Sydney.
22-year-old Daniel Waterman fought in the hospital for his life.
To me, it's just so sad. Like, he had his whole life ahead of him. I'm never going to be able to see him be a dad. I'm never going to be able to see him be who he was supposed to be.
A basketball player, football player, and his family says the best son and cousin you could ask for was left in a hospital bed nearly dying after a car crash back in February changed his life and his family's life forever. The driver of the car was his girlfriend, Leah Mumby. Court records show she is charged with reckless driving, causing serious bodily injury, and aggravated battery. She was arrested in July and is now out on bond awaiting trial. The family says Mumby, who is also carrying Waterman's child, crashed the car over a message from another girl.
Leah intentionally caused the crash. They were arguing it was really over a Snapchat.
That claim by the family is in line with what FHP documented based on a statement from Daniel according to an arrest report. It also says Mumby told investigators she does not remember what happened. Daniel was expected to testify in court during trial, but a late development of pneumonia took his life. Now the family says prosecutors told them his statement to investigators may not be usable.
When did the prosecutors tell you that?
We had a Zoom meeting in the hospital before his passing.
The family is hoping for justice and custody of the child she is carrying.
So this is another case. I'm not really sure how it will go once it gets to court. A lot of times the mother, even if she's going into custody, she would choose who that baby goes to. So we'll have to wait and see. But this is a crazy story. And again, when we were all in the meeting listening to this story, we were like, how do they know that this is how the crash happened? Well, he got better. He started talking to people. This is what he told his family. And now he died.
And you heard there his version of events may not even be admissible in court. So you have a witness to the crash and alleged victim here that, should this case be adjudicated, he wouldn't be able, obviously, to testify. So really, a lot of these allegations come from what he said in the past, but he's no longer there to reiterate it.
Yeah, this is true. Without that important witness, the only witness, what do you do? All right, let's turn things around.
Okay,
here we
go. You've
crash stories.
You've tasked me with one of the toughest
Mike,
transitions.
I know what you
This
want.
is like part of hazing, going through it. Okay, so there are some neighbors who have a bone to pick for the family. I know. I couldn't
They don't even know yet.
resist. Yeah. Okay. So it's a time of year. Everyone's trying to get the most kookiest decorations
Yeah.
on their porch. This one I've never seen before. I know you were talking about this earlier in the show. I think it's best if we just let our community correspondent Alex Cook explain, and we'll talk about it on the other side.
I'm News 6's Alex Cook in Mineola. It all started with a tip to the newsroom from a neighbor who wanted to stay anonymous about a skeleton strip club right here on this very porch. She said it's not your typical spooky decor. This one's got skeletons in suggestive poses, a pole, and it's all out in the open where kids walk to school. So, of course, we had to come see it for ourselves. Gabriella, who lives right across the street, says she sees it as all in good fun.
No problem. I can sit here. Let's have something fun. Woohoo!
She says her two kids love it too.
I have two kids and they like to see the skeleton. They are dancing. No problem for us.
But not everyone in the neighborhood agrees. In addition to the anonymous tip, we found heated debates on the neighborhood's social media page. One poster said, "I don't see stripping as art. Whether it's skeletons or cartoons, I wouldn't want my kids exposed to sexual innuendos." Another responded, "If you want to see it as sexual, that's your take. Does it show the skeleton removing clothes? How do you know if it's a female or male skeleton?" Another neighbor said, "We live here too. This is very inappropriate." One resident even contacted the Homeowners Association, which replied, "Unfortunately, the HOA cannot do anything about this. Halloween decorations are allowed, and residents can put up whatever holiday decorations they prefer." The HOA advised that the offended neighbor should wait until Halloween is over next weekend, when the display will come down.
So there's that. And Matt, when I saw that on the outline at first, I was like, I do not want to touch this with a 10-foot stripper pole at all. But
well done.
It's part of the community. It's part of Alex Cook's beat. He heard about this, and as a good community correspondent does, he went out to try to get answers, and he met that neighbor who was quite the character.
Only Alex Cook could get the neighbor to dance on the stripper pole during the story about the skeleton.
And I hope that neighbor has a good relationship with the family in order to do that. I mean, it was like her home.
She runs over there and starts dancing. So it's one of those things. I have kids and I have young kids. Obviously, you don't want them exposed to. We all try to shelter them somewhat, but that feels like one of those situations where, like, little kids aren't really going to understand what's going on, and the older kids might get a little giggle about it once they're old enough to understand what that is. But the whole scene was rather creative and funny, and it doesn't seem like most of the neighbors. Alex really tried to find the neighbor in person to talk and say, hey, I disagree with this, I'm offended by this, but most of them were just like that lovely neighbor there who said, I think it's kind of funny.
But this is one of those stories where someone contacted us. Alex got in touch with them.
Yeah.
They did not want to show their face on camera, but I mean, I think she was echoing a similar sentiment from other neighbors who you saw in those comments and emails to HOA. People are actually concerned about it, but it just begs the question, where's the line when it comes to Halloween decorations? And in this case, there wasn't anything too graphic there.
Yeah, nothing illegal or too graphic. And the HOA said, hands off. We're just going to let this, we're just going to ride this thing out. Yeah. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have a look at that weather, which is cooling off a little more, and some more stories. We had this story about horses possibly arriving on the beach, and wow, it turned out differently than a lot of us expected. We'll be right back.
Yeah, and he got the link from the show just a little while ago, I think. So we'll make sure we have that for News 6 tonight. Hey, thanks for stopping by. We know you're busy, but news doesn't stop, and neither do we.
That's right. And this is News 6 Tonight, where we leverage this entire busy newsroom with our community correspondents, our producers, our content desk, and then we filter through that. We have a casual conversation about the news that impacts Central Florida.
Yeah, we live here in the community, and we rely on you for our neighborhood network because you're our eyes and ears as well, and we can't do it without you.
So you can watch us all over the place, YouTube, News 6 Plus app, and clickorlando.com. While you're here, feel free to engage. Let us know who you are and where you're from. Hey, welcome back to News 6 Tonight. I'm Matt Austin. We have Mike Valenti filling in for Ginger tonight on this Friday. We try to bring in our community correspondents, have a little fun, and talk about the news of the day. And it's been an interesting day. We probably peaked early with the skeleton strippers, I would say.
Yeah.
But
Should we go back to it? Should we play it again?
You guys want to hear about that again? Well, we could give it a try. We'll see if we have time at the end. So Winter Park, let's talk about this. They are famous for having posh restaurants, very nice shops. If you ever want to go and pretend you have more money than you do, you like to go walk around Park Avenue. Well, there's another place. You're going to have another option as some new shops are entering the fray. You can forget Restaurant Row down in Dr. Phillips. They're calling this Minnesota Row. Ginger Gadsden takes a look at this story.
Ask just about anyone who shops at this Publix off Orlando and Minnesota Avenue. They've noticed something's up because some of the buildings have come down. When you see these plans, what do you think about that?
It looks really, really pretty. Lots of nice spaces to walk around and all that.
Yeah, it looks really nice, and I think it would attract a lot of people. I think we need more green space, and I think instead of husbands wandering around aimlessly, in here, they could go just sit on the bench.
So what is it becoming? The area sits between the Mills 50 district and Maitland, right next to the Publix at the corner of Orlando and Minnesota Avenues. It will be known as Minnesota Row, a 120,000 square foot mixed-use destination designed to blend offices, restaurants, and retail with community green space.
You're going to have retail and restaurants as you look straight out. You're also going to have medical office and traditional office throughout the park.
Developers say it's the kind of project Winter Park has been missing, a place to meet, dine, and relax that's a little less formal than Park Avenue.
We don't really have a destination project like this. We, of course, have Park Avenue, the Golden Mile, but nothing really where people can congregate around, a restaurant here and a curated entertainment area with the green space in the middle. And you don't have to worry about car traffic. You can be pedestrians here on this lawn, kind of hang out for the day, have lunch, have breakfast, visit some boutique fitness shops. I mean, something for the whole family is what we're looking for.
So this is a huge project, 120,000 square feet. These are the same people who did Hyde Park in Tampa. I don't know if you've been there, but it's really nice.
Also a similar project in Atlanta, I believe.
Yes, absolutely. So they've got some good experience doing this. I don't really find Park Avenue. It is posh and kind of, I wouldn't say, I feel like it's relatable. There's a little park there, the Central Park.
They got the farmer's market
farmer's
over the
market's
weekend.
great there.
It's pretty accessible.
So I don't feel like that's too intimidating for anybody to really go to. But this apparently will give you another option, maybe some more reasonably priced meals or something to go.
And a place where you don't have to fight over parking, because we know how much of a mess parking can be on Park Ave.
Park Ave can be a real struggle. There's that little, my hack is there's a little parking garage that you can sneak over there, and you can sometimes get lucky.
That's just between me and you.
That's just,
right,
just between us and your mom who's watching right now on YouTube. Good to see you tonight, Mrs. Valenti. Thanks for joining us.
She'll like that. Okay. Something people don't like in Volusia County, and now they don't have to worry about it. There was this proposal to allow horseback riding on a section of beach. There's a Volusia County council person who put this forward. They just rescinded that proposal because they got a lot of pushback. Our Volusia County correspondent, Angie Casada, went out there to explain.
I'm your Volusia County community correspondent, Angie Casada, and we're in Ormond by the Sea, where a controversial topic to let folks ride horses on these parts of the Volusia County beaches is already out of the running. The councilman who pushed for it has now pulled the proposal after a wave of public opposition.
I am now a nay on too soon. So I'm gonna pull that.
A short-lived idea to open a section of Volusia County beaches to horseback riding is now off the table. District 4 Councilman Troy Kent, who originally proposed it, formally pulled it this week after he says public response was overwhelmingly negative.
98% emails against the idea. The location is not feasible.
The plan would have allowed horses on 2 stretches of non-driving beach, including a 9-mile section from North Shore Park in Ormond by the Sea to the Flagler County line, and another spot near Neptune Beach in Ormond Beach.
The people that live here, we didn't want horses here. There's not enough beach left for us.
I'm standing on one of the areas that was being considered, but since that proposal has been scrapped, you won't be seeing any horses in this sand anytime soon.
So there are so many jokes you can make and puns out of the story, but the opposition, it's really serious. You heard someone there say that there wasn't enough beach to share with the horses. There was a petition that went around. A lot of people in that area signed it. The reasons they cited for opposing the proposal was environmental damage, safety risks, saying horses are large and unpredictable. They could be spooked by a dog or something. You don't know. Fishermen conflicts, unfair standards, and impractical use. So again, now, this whole thing is moot because they got their way, but this was something that had been kind of floating out there for months.
It's always interesting to see the process. Local government, somebody throws something out there, which is fine. He gets the pushback, and then at least he responded in the way. Because,
he didn't double down.
No, he didn't just keep trying to push forward. There was no horse lobby, trying to push him to keep that going. But really, a lot of people don't. It's hard to get dogs on the beach. A lot of these dog things, they'll pass a little bit, and we all love dogs. But when you start thinking about an animal defecating on the beach. Yeah, nothing can ruin a day on the beach like stepping in a big old pile of horse poop. That is no bueno.
Lovely image.
All right, let's get you to weather now since I've awkwardly messed up the show. Let's get over to meteorologist Jonathan Kegas. He is joining us now. Kegs, it will be a pretty good weekend to head to the beach. Those water temperatures are they getting a little too cool for us?
Oh no. Oh my gosh. Not yet. Not yet. We're still in the 70s. I mean, if you go, this is still like 10 degrees warmer than if you were to go to the beach, like say like Ocean City, Maryland, or off the Jersey Shore. It's like in the middle of summer. So like, you're not even close.
For me, I like it around 80. Yeah. Like I've got
for sure.
blood now, you know?
No, you need 80. We're still pretty good. I mean, after this next one that comes down, for Halloween, no, you're done. Beaches are closed. We're talking about a big cold front, guys. So this is the temperature outlook, October 30th through November 3rd. That dark blue there over the southeast corner of the United States. That is the highest confidence that you can get there with the amount of colder air coming down the pipeline. I mean, we're talking about some people on Halloween morning waking up in the 40s in parts of Central Florida. So, I mean, it's not just like a Florida cold front. Like, this is the big one. And it's going to have, I think, a great night if you like it on the cool side for trick-or-treating. Coming up at 9:30 tonight, we're going to talk more about the timeline of this. And then, of course, we're going to spend a lot of time on Tropical Storm Melissa. It's getting itself organized. It's likely going to explode in intensity this weekend. And unfortunately, Jamaica is right smack dab in the center of that. So we're going to take a look at some of what they can expect down there as this continues to move away from Florida.
Jonathan, for Florida purposes, though, you said about a week ago, there is this thing out there that could mess with us, but if we make it through that, it'll probably be the end of hurricane season for us, or at least things we have to worry about.
Yeah.
And that was Melissa. You still feel that same way?
I do. There could be something that fires off in the Caribbean like in a week or two, but I mean, with these fronts coming in like crazy, it's got no shot. They will not. It's going to be hard. I mean, they would have to really thread the needle to kind of lift up and kind of beat this out, because now it's just like almost like an ocean wave. You're getting tumbled and trying to get up, and then another wave knocks you down and get up. The wind shear is increasing like crazy now as we get into fall, and these fronts continue to come in and give us cool air and keep us protected from hurricanes.
Yeah, 40s on Halloween. Sounds like a Pittsburgh Halloween, Jonathan.
Absolutely. Need some snow, though. Back in my day.
Good gracious. All right, Jonathan Kegas. Check him out at 9:30. He has a great show coming up where he'll interact with you and answer your questions. All right, when we come back, a feel-good story to get you on your weekend just right. It'll be Chef's Kiss. You'll love it. We'll be right back. Welcome to News 6 Tonight. We are so thankful that you're joining us here wherever you found us.
Yeah, you know what this tells me? If you have made this your new streaming destination, it tells me you're smart. Also good looking, because you chose to watch the news in a different way. That makes you really smart. Anybody can give you the news from a teleprompter or an old newspaper. We do it in a fresh new way.
That's right. So check us out wherever you like to stream. We have this app for your TV, News 6 Plus. You can find it on Roku and Amazon and whatever your smart TV is cooking. So thank you. We would love to hear your comments down below.
Gosh. Yeah.
And then we'll show them.
Yeah, we will. News 6 Plus. The plus is you.
Ooh. All right, people around are struggling right now. They're having a hard time paying for groceries. They're having a hard time paying for everything. Inflation has really gone crazy. I don't know if you've had to have your car fixed recently.
Fortunately, no. I got a new car when I moved here in January.
Good for you. Yeah, let's hope it stays that way, because once stuff starts falling apart on these cars, you can't get out of a mechanic for less than like $800 these days. I have a guy I love, but I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, what is going on? So people, along with these struggles, are rolling around with cars that need fixing, but they just can't afford to do it. So there's this mobile mechanic who decided, hey, I'm going to help people out, and I'm going to get them on the road, make their cars safer. And he just did it in this random parking lot. Our community correspondent, Paul Giorgio, tells us about Fix It Forward.
It was like a parking lot pit road at the West Volusia Dream Center. But as you can see, this wasn't NASCAR's finest.
I just can't have you in the car while I'm lifting.
Ed Rosa is the crew chief. He and his team from the nonprofit Fix It Forward were doing light mechanical work and basic maintenance on cars at the Homeless Outreach Center. Zamara Salters' Chrysler Sebring drew a caution flag.
I bought it at a pawn shop, and it's had a multitude of problems.
She lives in her car. She's been jumping the car ever since her battery went bad a couple of weeks ago, so every time she needs to drive, he needs to jump it.
It's only 10 o'clock. I already jumped it 3 times this morning.
But she found a reason to smile. She's getting a new battery along with her brakes checked and an oil change.
Make sure the hoses are good.
Rosa started the nonprofit a few years ago. He can't keep up with the need from qualified applicants.
There are so many homeless people living in their cars in Central Florida. It's unbelievable. And they're driving unsafe. They're driving on tires that are unsafe. They're driving cars with no brakes because they cannot afford just basic maintenance on their cars.
After a short pit stop, Salter will be back out, safe.
Well, they're fantastic.
And in pole position.
And I'm so glad that we're able to help them out. At least give them a little bit of hope. Let them know that, hey, you're not discarded in society. There's people out there that are looking after you, that are willing to help.
Thanks for watching News 6 Tonight.